All right, picture this. It's part luxury watch, part literal hypercar. Today we are strapping in for a complete under-the-hood explainer of a machine that has the entire horological community buzzing right now. We're talking about the brand new TAG Heuer Monaco Speed 12. Let's break down exactly what's ticking inside this thing.
$87,000. Yeah, you heard that right. That is literally Porsche 911 money, but strapped directly to your wrist. That's the staggering estimated price tag for this new release. But here is the kicker, and this is absolutely crucial. TAG Heuer is only ever producing 50 of these worldwide, no more. It's an ultra-exclusive piece of mechanical art that dropped right in time for the Formula One Grand Prix de Monaco.
So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. First, a racing icon reborn. Then, the V12 engine design, the mechanics of the spin time, how TAG Heuer stacks up against the Titans, and finally, the price and final verdict.
Okay, let's dive right into Section 1, a racing icon reborn, the DNA of the Monaco.
To really get this watch, you have to understand the heritage that makes this square case so legendary. See, while Omega kind of set the standard for round sports chronographs back in 1957, Heuer went completely rogue in 1969. They dropped the original Monaco, which was the first square, water-resistant chronograph, famously featuring this weird left-sided crown. It was bold. And when Steve McQueen strapped it on for the 1970 film Le Mans, well, it instantly became the ultimate racing watch. Fast forward to 2026, and the Speed 12 is a massive high-tech leap from those McQueen days. It's built specifically for the modern era of drivers, guys like Max Verstappen.
Moving right along to Section 2, the V12 engine design, exterior styling.
We're going to treat this just like a supercar review and do a quick walk around to the chassis. Honestly, this is a brilliantly aggressive build. The 40mm case isn't your standard heavy steel, it's grade 5 titanium, so it's incredibly lightweight but super strong, finished with these gorgeous brushed surfaces and polished bevels. It's capped with a box-style sapphire crystal. But the dial's where the automotive inspiration literally screams at you. It's completely open-worked. You've got these vertical grooves that mimic a high-performance engine cover and just a lone skeletonized minute hand pulled straight off a dashboard.
Now, what's really interesting is Section 3, Mechanics of the Spin Time, lifting the hood.
It's time to actually lift the hood and look at the engine driving this machine. As one review brilliantly noted, this is a reinterpretation of the jumping hour complication that evokes a 12-cylinder engine. And to build this, TAG Heuer didn't just act alone. They flexed the massive power of the LVMH group. They tapped La Fabrique de Top's Louis Vuitton, working directly with master watchmakers to develop the TH8400 caliber. Essentially, it takes Louis Vuitton's famous spin time movement and heavily customizes it to function exactly like a combustion engine.
Okay, let's walk through this firing sequence step by step because it's just so cool. Look at the 12 rhodium-plated pistons sitting around the perimeter. Step 1, the central minute hand sweeps across the dial. Step 2, right as it hits 60, the piston displaying the current hour physically snaps back, hiding its number in a parked stance. Step 3, instantly, the very next piston rotates exactly 90 degrees to reveal the new hour. It is pure, unadulterated mechanical theater. It's literally a V12 firing sequence happening right on your wrist. But underneath all that theater, you've got a highly modern 4 Hz movement running at 28,800 vibrations per hour, with a solid 45-hour power reserve. Structurally, though, this is where it gets wild. If you look through the sapphire case, you'll see the entire round movement is actually suspended inside the square case by 4 black DLC-coated arches. Guys, it literally looks like an engine block bolted into a race car chassis. This is uncompromising high horology.
All right, Section 4. TAG Heuer vs. the Titans, benchmarking on track.
So, how does TAG's wild approach compare to the old guard, like Omega and Rolex? Let's start with the design. The Monaco is totally defined by that polarizing square case and its raw motorsport roots. It takes risks, Compare that to something like the Omega Speedmaster Professional. The Speedy is the absolute definition of timeless traditionalism. It's round, hyper-legible, resting comfortably on its legendary moon landing heritage. We're talking about 2 iconic sports watches operating in 2 totally different aesthetic lanes.
And mechanically, it's a completely different philosophy altogether. TAG Heuer isn't afraid to use group partnerships, like bringing in Louis Vuitton's tech, to achieve some really wild collaborative horology. Rolex, on the other hand, is the undisputed king of vertical integration. They produce strictly in-house, prioritizing absolute mechanical purity and superlative chronometer testing. Honestly, Rolex is about perfecting the standard. TAG with the Speed 12 is about completely reinventing it.
Which brings us to a really crucial point about value. You'll always hear people asking about investment potential when prices get this high. Let's be very clear about something. Luxury watches are not financial assets. While Rolex reigns supreme in holding secondary market value, buying this Monaco Speed 12 isn't about parking your money. Not at all. It is entirely about purchasing radical mechanics, cutting-edge design, and the pure joy of the machine itself.
Finally, Section 5. Price and final verdict. Is it worth it?
Does this high-octane release actually justify the extreme sticker price? Well, it all really comes back to this one number, 50. Only 50 of these are ever going to exist. That $87,000 price tag reflects the bespoke titanium, the incredibly complex La Fabrique du Tempo movement, and sheer undeniable scarcity. It's a halo product. It's meant to prove that TAG Heuer can play at the absolute highest, most exotic levels of Swiss watchmaking.
But, not everyone in the community is entirely on board. For a lot of traditionalists, an $87,000 TAG Heuer just feels alienating. As one collector put it, the Swiss watch industry is driving in the wrong direction. I can buy a superbly made Japanese watch that doesn't gouge me. There's a real sentiment out there that pushing this far into the luxury stratosphere abandons the accessible racing roots of the brand, which is driving some fans toward high-value Japanese alternatives. Yet, for others, this crazy avant-garde leap is exactly the kind of energy the brand needs right now.
So I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on. Is the Speed 12 TAG Heuer's ultimate horological peak, demonstrating exactly what they can do with the full might of LVMH behind them? Or is it just an $87,000 detour from the heritage that made them famous in the first place? It's a fascinating debate for a truly wild machine. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you for watching Advent. Don't forget to subscribe.